Spring is in the air, and as we do spring cleaning around the house, Amilya Antonetti of Designing Genius is here to give us tips on spring cleaning our goals, which are so important. Amilya, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here.
I'll tell you, this is the book right here that is so important to people, especially this time of year, because it is the time that we start working on our goals that we've said we're going to do in the new year.
That's right.
Which is very important. So how do we make sure that we are staying on goals, and how do we actually spring clean our goals?
Right. So we're a product of our environment, right? So it's not just a mental cleaning, it's also a physical cleaning, right? So by now, or as we go on the top of Q2, if whatever your goal was in January, woohoo, we're going to hit our goals. If you're not there, you're not going to, right? So stop kidding yourself, right? If you could, you would, but you're not. So there's another solution around you. And we try to create this soloness of I'm going to get to my goal, I'm going to reach it with this kind of solo mindset versus realizing that it takes a tribe in order to hit any goal.
Yeah.
And so instead of just relying on willpower, let's take action. And so tons and tons of studies have been done about a cluttered environment, right? Cluttered environment usually is an indication of a cluttered mind. So what we do is an exercise called start, stop, and swap, right? So what happened in the first part of this year that is working for you, that you're like, you know what, I've nailed it and it's working, because some part of your life is working. So let's keep that consistent. Then what needs to be swapped? Yeah. Sort of working, not consistent, maybe it needs a little tweak, which means maybe you need a buddy, right? So if you're like inconsistent with working out, right? Yeah. Then if you've got a buddy, we already know that the human condition is we're more likely to be punctual for you versus I would be for myself.
Right.
So don't rely, get a buddy system, right? Create that routine, that little reward. Use technology, right? We've got technology everywhere to set your times and reminders to say, okay, here's my 7 o'clock alarm. I'm not going to eat after that alarm. Instead, I'm going to take a walk, right? Yeah. So give yourself those triggers, right? Think about like the dog with the bell to help us when we're building a new routine. And same thing too with our mind, right? What do we have to stop doing that's getting in our way? And so when we just constantly kind of do a quick little check-in in our morning or evening routine about what am I starting, what am I stopping, and what am I swapping, that little ritual helps us remove the clutter. And take a look at your environment. Say, okay, this is the room I spend the most amount of time in. What can you remove from the environment that is taking you off track?
So let me ask you, the new thing that I've been hearing is that I guess the new word is not winning, it's failing. And someone said that when you fail at your goal of one thing, you're going to win at it going forward because you learned what's going on there. And I think that's what you're saying. Like, take a look and see what you're not working or what's failed, because that will help you win 100% going forward. Is that right? Yeah,
failure is just a directional guide, right? Remember, nothing has meaning unless we give it to it, right? So we've developed a meaning around failure, but you can just as easily say, okay, look, I'm one step closer to winning. Right? It's your mindset. And we have to be able to transfer that knowledge to realize that when we bring emotion into anything, we don't make good choices, right? We're riding in our emotion. The emotion stops us from making strong decisions. So let's get onto the analytical side and say, okay, well, what do I really want? And how do I create the environment so that I can create the momentum, not willpower, momentum, right? Action creates more action so that you're actually building that capacity. And I see it all the time. I look at people's calendars, I'm like, and you wonder why you're not, because you think that an overpacked calendar makes progress.
Yes.
It's not. It creates busy, not progress.
Right. And I think one thing I love about you, Amilya, and also Designing Genius, is that you guys work with some major CEOs, actors, actresses, and stuff, and you actually help them declutter to make them successful. And I think one thing you said, you look at a CEO's calendar, you're like, why are you busy every hour? How are you going to help yourself with this schedule? And so that's the big thing. It's called about sitting quietly at times, am I right?
Yeah, you have to be able to recover. And so if your calendar is so busy and you don't create the space to think and process to make those decisions, then you're always in a reactive reward. You don't have time to do the work, right? And so if you have a meeting, right, take that meeting from an hour meeting. I so do not believe in hour meetings, right? Bring that meeting down to 15 or 20 minutes. If you can't tell me what you want from me in 15, 20, go to work. When you figure it out, get back on my calendar. Because I'm not going to waste my time helping you figure it out. If you need me, what do you need? Let's be precise, and what's the next step? And the next step should be a piece of technology, right? The wrap-up should be a piece of technology, so you can go back and then regroup, make decisions, move on to the next meeting. You got to create that space to actually put into action whatever just happened for the new input of information.
There it is. It's all right here in this book that you can get. Also, you are available to start working with people, especially with companies and businesses right away.
Tons of B2B.
It's Design Genius, and it's definitely a successful book. As we know, the people that you've helped out is amazing. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, information's right on the screen there of where you get a hold of Amilya and her team, or go ahead and head over to cw7az.com. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.